thing here. Let's see how well my micro does, right? Um, it's hard because I can't scroll, so a move, just to try to focus these guys, because I'm pretty sure there's a glitch. Interesting. I got my butt kicked. Hello, builders. My name is G. Day 2 of this daily vlog. I'm actually keeping to it, which is great. Here we have one of the games that I have been working on as an AI indie dev, right? And building this with mostly, I believe this was 5.6 Soul, but it might have been Fable 5. I haven't, because I canceled my subscription after the Anthropic messiness with Fable 5, have really been just using GPT. So a lot of the polish that is going on, if I just zoom in really quick, you see like the little sparks that are going on with the workers, and as they're harvesting, the minerals follow, all that type of stuff. Honestly, they should be changed to green, which I'll go back and do. Like the ability to hover over something and have the circle go somewhat close to around it. Um, that's all Fable 5, right? The ability to be able to hover over this and then be able to select. All of these are automated tests here, so just to be able to show that different things are being done. So I had to work through every single one of these, but I just really love StarCraft. It's been a game that I grew up playing, hand me down from my brother, the original game, and then StarCraft 2 made my way all the way up to master rank in it, and was playing semi-competitively. Um, in the scene, not Korean, so unfortunately can't get much higher. But I've always had an affinity for RTS games and the like. And honestly, I was really looking at playing the new PvE Company of Heroes 3 game. I don't know if it's under Company of Heroes 3 or a separate spin-off, but probably maybe be doing some recordings and doing some content related to, gaming and that type of stuff. Whether it be on this channel or a different one, remains to be seen. But anyways, yeah, like I also love building these, right? Because I always think about like, those minor things between the games that developers ship and the games that we end up playing. There's always like something where I'm like, oh, there's just a little bit of, my personal tastes that are missing. And, there's always things that need to be adjusted, right? Like the fact that this should be an arc as opposed to a straight line. There's kind of StarCraft 1-y in some of the, you know, base base placement, right, or construction. As you can see, this is just showing like the different orientations of where workers can spawn and move about. So a couple of other demos here, right? So this is base saturation. So thinking about the gas geysers. I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say the other word for it with it starts with V. But yeah, this is just showing that like, hey, when selecting on a particular thing, that's the algorithm that was generated to be able to do a clean spread, right? And I think it's honestly very cool, right? And just kind of showing like how it's pathing to different things, because the arrows here, or the blue arrows, are the shortest distance. The orange is the actual attempted path that it's going to try to make, right? So you can just see how it's able to follow that. One of the things that I've noticed with working with AI is that a lot of times it's working with a slot machine. You never know what you're going to get, and very often sometimes it's close to what you want, right? Triple sevens out two and the sevens off, right? Dang it. But ultimately, like me iterating on a bunch of different games, right? Like Omega Wars, which is a different style of RTS, more of the Warno style. I don't have it to demo here today, but I honestly think that I'm going to take things from 3K Star, which is, if you can guess by some of the video game references, an amalgamation of multiple game concepts that we'll see eventually. Hopefully, I'll vlog and show the evolution of this into a polished game. But where we're just kind of looking at it right now, I will probably use this as the kind of baseline level application for or game engine for a bunch of different other RTS concepts that I might have, which may or may not be specifically in the video game field, like the fact that this is basically just harvesting, right? There's no combat, there's no, kind of warfare element to it. It's just base building. And you can apply that to similar games like Factorio, like whatever other games. It doesn't really pop to mind. SimCity, like or RTS SimCity. Don't know if that's been attempted. With AI, the barrier to entry has been lowered and democratized so that it isn't, a full team of like 10 to 20 people needed to be able to create an experience like this, right? I'm able to leverage, huge props and thank you. And I'll shout them out in the description down below. But like Kenney's assets, some purchased assets, which I think is K-Kit was the other one that I used that I thought was of good quality. That one's paid, I believe. Kenny's asset is open open source and open commercial use, I believe. So huge props to them for them for doing this. And so yeah, these are the different types of things. Now these are automated demos for just the workers. This is to allow for us to have control. I'm blocking it, so I'll just move myself to the top right. But you can see here like some construction, little queue. Maybe I can bring it in a little bit closer just so you can kind of see the queue here. And the ability for me to add particular stuff. Some improvements, right? Like the ability to go to the borders and be able to show stuff. This is kind of creepy. Little astronaut Minecraft like duder. No walking animation from these assets, but just spawning stuff in and being able to show that like you can base build and there are different types of buildings that exist here. I think this is the aircraft one, which I was really impressed with how I was able to make the aircraft. This is the command center type thing with being able to make workers, that type of stuff. This is like a vulture like thing. Honestly, I didn't even prompt it to create these units. It just went out, looked at what was available on the assets front, and kind of put it all together, which I really am impressed at. Really cool. This flying aircraft that's able to obviously go above everything. And in game development, it's not actually flying, right? It's just based off of the orientation of it, the shadow, which really honestly the circle should be where the shadow is going around it. Um, it's a little bit off there, so some stuff to fix. Always stuff to fix. The circle going through the building instead of like over it, being able to trace over it. Those are like the minor polish things that obviously veteran game developers can do. Maybe they do it right off the bat, or stuff that someone who's more inexperienced like me may or may not notice. But I'm been really impressed with the ability of all of AI to be able to generate this. They've been getting way better. And I'm really excited for the future, and I hope that you are as well. This is the combat thing here. Let's see how well my micro does, right? It's hard because I can't scroll, so a move, just to try to focus these guys, because I'm pretty sure there's a glitch. Interesting. I got my butt kicked. But yeah, some minor issues there. I think I was let's reset this, or I'll just refresh. I think I can just a move and it'll be fine. But yeah, so the main big thing about this, like there's minor polish stuff, right? Like there's a click, right? A click, a click, a click, a click, and then let me see if I can kite properly. Yeah, so that's kiting there, where you basically right click and then use a click to attack, and then be able to kite stuff. So those are melee units, so they're not able to actually get in range to attack. I don't actually think they deal damage. I think it was just part of the demo, or maybe a mistake, right? But anyways, just different ways to show like this is actually very tight. I think in terms of like the controls and how responsive these things are. And as you notice, right, this is in the browser. It's not Unity, Godot, or anything too crazy. It's all TypeScript and stuff that, in my personal opinion, like I don't know Godot, I don't know Unity that well. It's written in TypeScript, so I can more easily figure it out. But Anyways, that was a little deep dive of like kind of the top level things that I've been working on that I'm able to show. The mobile app stuff, I'm still trying to figure out a way to really easily record it. It's hard because obviously, like, test flights on my phone. I'm on a Windows machine for the recording, so like, how do I get that? Like, I could probably screen record Discord, maybe. Um, and like just screen share through my phone to that, and then try to work it there. But then I would have to post talk over stuff because I mean I could do it without webcam, I guess. I don't think anybody needs to see me, but um, yeah, I'll figure it out, and hopefully we could talk about some of the mobile apps because honestly, from a purely business perspective, I think those are going to be more fruitful. So yeah, just one real quick thing I wanted to show. Flashbang warning, potentially, just because I'm flipping over to my email. Okay, so I got accepted into DevDay in San Francisco. So I'm excited to attend the end of September here. And I'll be honest, like from a personal level, and this is something that's been really affecting me. And I know my friends are trying to help me process it and think it through. Like, I just want to be able to achieve at least some amount of revenue and like getting apps out there and like having some sales, right? Some nascent amount of sales. So I'm not just at like zero. It's getting harder as the days go by because it's not like I just started. And I totally recognize that for a lot of people who are indie hackers and developers, you'll probably never see money for like a year even, right? But it's only been since I think May when I first started this, right? We're in only our second quarter, so it's about the 4 to 5 month period where I've actually been doing this. And obviously with the vlog, it's only been 2 days, right? But this is giving me a level of urgency and, a little bit of imposter syndrome. And, being a startup founder beforehand, like, for one of the companies, it was revenue was really quick. The other one took a very, very long time. And honestly, in a way, like someone dropping down, like, divine intervention to kind of help us out and get our first customer, right? And so from my perspective, like just this is me alone. I only have myself to really count upon for the day-to-day operations. Thankfully, have people around me who can, be there to boost me up and, you know, make it feel a little bit less lonely, right? But, you know, it's just a little bit of imposter syndrome hanging in there, right? And then it's tough having to deal with it. But this is like an artificial deadline for me. Hopefully, we'll get something going by then. If you're going to OpenAI DevDay in San Francisco, I'd love to meet you. Be able to meet with a bunch of people who are like-minded indie developers, indie hackers who are building cool and interesting things and trying to, just generate some good revenue, right? Outside of the VC rat race. And so, hope to see any of you there. And if you're able to attend, and otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe, comment down below what other content you'd like to see. And do check out the 3K demo. It's live. It's on a Vercel domain because I haven't bought a domain yet for it because I don't think it's ready yet. But just moving forward, it's tough. It's a tough journey, but I couldn't ask for doing anything else. And honestly, I'm in a privileged position to be able to do so. So thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow.